嘅，因為個古仔我哋賣咗3年噶嘛，即係我哋用3年時間賣極都冇人要噶嘛。咁到個老闆要嘅時候咧，即係我同阿 Alan Mac 咁，我哋真係3年時間去賣呢個古仔。好多人都話我好中意呢個古仔，但係我哋唔會拍，因為賺唔到錢嘅咁樣。咁直到呢個老闆佢肯決定去拍嘅時候，其實佢已經計啱，即係佢盤數已經計好晒㗎啦。咁所以我哋都冇擔心咯，因為佢都唔係好擔心，佢問都冇問過咁。但係就即係可能經過3年時間，我哋都唔再擔心啲咩，求其拍到我哋都好開心㗎啦。You guess how long I used to? I mean, I really write Infernal Affair. Do you know how long? 5 days. Because when I actually Alan had written the first draft, but I don't like it. I rewrite it, and but 5 days later is my wedding. Okay, and then honeymoon, you know. So I will have no time to struggle with it. So I force myself to finish it in 5 days. But for Infernal Affairs 2 and 3, 2 is about 2 months. It's because it's more complicated, you know. And the third one, 1.5 months.
Hong Kong audience in the 80s and the 90s were used to watching Hong Kong films doing what Hollywood used to do. So there were a lot of formulas. There were a lot of cliche characters and stories. But after all the years, now I think the audience are getting a lot smarter. So if you don't really work on your characters, or if you don't base your story on more reality issues, after 10 minutes, the audience will know what your ending is. The truth is becoming more and more ambiguous. So for the directors and the cinema, I think if we present something as black and white as before, we would be afraid that the audience might find it really naive, because they might laugh at us if we have the same thing we presented 20 years ago. So what happened is, even when the script writers are writing, they will say, let's make it more complicated, because in real life, if you go to school, if you go to work, people are like that. So to make it more close to the people that they see every day, in order not to get laughed at by the audience, I think that is the main concern.
開頭好純粹係諗警匪片嘅，咁但係就發覺個材料係唔夠咯，咁就開始諗話不如加入呢一種嘅即係嘅風格落去咯，所謂間諜式嘅，係啦，即係卧底嗰啲係一早有㗎啦，咁但係寫落去發覺係好似可以 combine 到呢一啲方法，而又唔會覺得太核突， 同埋好似又好合理咁啦。咁變咗我哋去寫嗰陣時，又好冇顧忌咁喺度係咁寫呢啲嘢啦。即係如果原裝嘅劇本係更多呢啲嘢嘅，咁但係我哋後尾已經係即係收斂翻少少噶啦。因為我哋個劇本又寫咗6稿咁嘛又。咁啊，去到第6稿嗰陣時係即係差唔多係而家呢個版本咁你話間諜嗰樣嘢咧，其實係我覺得係邊度都存在噶啦。喂，
係啊，我對呢個題材係特別中意嘅。有2個原因，第一係我細個，我爸爸係差人嚟，我哥哥都係差人嚟。咁我細個喺警察宿舍住嘅，喺警察宿舍大。咁由細到大都聽咗好多警察啲故仔。咁同埋有啲係聽啦，有啲係睇啫，即係好多好特別嘅故仔。呢個第一，第二係啦，我自己睇戲咧，我覺得追看性係好緊要，即係你追住睇好緊要。我如果我有時間，我都會選擇睇呢啲戲，即係我唔會選擇睇啲戲係靜止擺喺度，你慢慢去感受嗰啲戲。咁你反而近年香港，譬如點解我哋會拍呢啲 film noir 嗰啲戲咁去翻好似美國70年代？其實係因為個資金唔夠，我覺得。你第一，你用個燈光要少咗啦；第二，你要諗好多方法用自然光，係啊，用個對比，用個 contrast 最大，係啊，你唔可以用一個 full lighting 去打到個光圈收到好細，然後拍出嚟好華麗咁樣，即係唔可以做呢樣嘢。
呢一樣嘢喺邊度嚟咧？就係中國畫啦。中國畫咧係唔會填滿噶嘛，係會留白色喺度噶嘛。同埋中國畫咧係冇立體冇透視噶嘛。 嚇。咁佢嗰個理論即係簡單啲講啦，因為其實佢個理論好長嘅。咁啊簡單啲講就係點樣利用留白去製造喺電影上面嘅思考空間咯。咁呢一樣嘢影響到我變咗我去思考電影嘅時候，我都會係
apply 呢樣嘢。
係啊，因為呢一樣嘢我讀書嗰陣時係讀幾年都係讀呢樣嘢。咁我哋話去睇黑暗面，其實係因為有黑暗面，你先會有個 drama 喺度，即係先會有個戲劇喺度咯。咁如果你真係淨係睇好嗰一面咧，咁你個戲劇咪好平面咯，即係淨係得一個空間一個角度咁。咁變咗我哋會做多咗呢一樣嘢。咁同時啊，可能我哋住喺度咁，我哋好中意呢個地方㗎。咁但係我哋硬係會對呢個地方有啲不滿咯。可能即係你話後生嘅人，咁呢個係一個正常嘅現象嚟嘅。
嗰個沙士雖然係之後發生嘅事嘅，但係香港嘅經濟嗰個衰退咧，其實由我哋 turnover 97年開始已經一路形成咗。咁去到我02年拍《無間道》嗰陣時，其實有少少啦，大家已經離開咗嗰種熱鬧氣氛，即係香港人普遍。即係呢個其實係一個心情嘅問題。
大環境影響，即係個心情。
個大環境影響個心情問題。即係我同阿劉偉強都覺得啊，我哋即係如果再拍嗰啲熱熱鬧鬧嘅戲，我哋覺得真係根本好假，咁冇嗰個心情去拍嗰類型。即係好想將一啲啊，我哋覺得真實到底係點嘅嘢咧，拍翻出嚟。即係我哋需要其實97前有一段好長時間，我哋已經係一路都係英國殖民地啦。咁97前有一段好長時間，我哋一路都接受緊，我哋又要97，我哋要做翻一個中國人。係啊。咁但係其實我哋係中國人嚟㗎嘛。咁但係得意嘅地方就係97之後咧，到而家雖然已經07年，其實10年時間啦已經。我哋係咪中國人咧？你其實去到中國咧，就冇人當你中國人。你諗下香港戲仲係唔可以喺大陸上嘅，即係要一個好長嘅申請嘅程序啊。佢都冇當你係中國人，係啊。另一方面，你又當唔當嗰啲大陸人係你哋同胞？我唔覺得香港人又點當，係啊。咪始終都係嗰班咁嘅大陸人咯，係啊。即係一樣，你問我，所以呢個就係身份嘅問題。喺戲裏面，其實最反映到，我覺得係呢樣嘢，係個人嘅身份問題。嗰兩個主角啊，到底個身份，佢哋係警察啦，係黑社會啊？到底我係一個爸爸，定係我係一個打劫嘅人啊？即係呢啲咁嘅身份嘅混亂，呢個先係最主要我諗嘅嘢啊。
沈晴嘅背景唔簡單，保安科最近查緊佢，應該同偷運軍火有關。韓森最近停晒同大陸啲交易，應該遲啲同佢拍住上。
哇！呢啲大茶飯嚟喎。咁而家應該點啊？
你仲唔去睇心理醫生？
睇嚟好人好仔睇咩心理醫生啫？
你打傷人，我幾經辛苦先同你搞到律政司唔告你。你唔使去坐判，你去睇心理醫生。你唔中意去就算，遲下睇下律政司點樣判你。係咁啊！
喂，女主啊！
咁 就其實咧，收尾我哋因為我哋都有幾多警察嘅朋友嘅，咁收尾引證翻係咧，其實就以嗰個 concept 為例啦。咁啊，原來如果講緊喺香港咧，係黑幫咁派入去警隊做卧底嘅人咧，係一定係多過喺警隊派去黑幫做卧底嘅數目係多好多嘅。
咁曾經無間道未上畫之前咧，警察公共關係科其實捉咗我一次去嘅，未上畫之前，即係佢請咗我一次去，係啦，佢就話咧啊，聽聞你哋拍咗一個咁嘅戲，呢啲事咧應該係冇發生過嘅，但係香港係個自由社會，我又唔可以禁制你部戲上映，但係下次希望你喺拍呢啲戲之前諮詢下我哋啦，咁樣。咁前嗰排我唔知佢哋法國有冇聽過嗰個差人開槍打差人嗰個案件，即係你裏邊都會發生一樣咁嘅嘢咯。你唔可以話講到佢哋好好就全部都好好嘅。裏邊香港當然有好好嘅差人，係啊，但係個別人有問題嘅亦都係存在㗎嘛。
尖沙咀凌晨發生一宗槍擊案，令到香港嘅市民一度震驚。現場係廣東道同柯士甸道交界，大約凌晨1時傳出槍聲，兩名當值警員一死一危殆，另一名死亡男子懷疑係警務人員。初步調查估計，證實現場曾經開咗10槍。警方喺該名男子身上搜到警務人員證件，但身份要進一步核實。案件動機仍在調查中。尖沙咀槍擊案引起咗香港警務處嘅高度關注，已即時成立咗一個特別嘅調查委員會，調查事件嘅真相，之後就會向公眾提交一個特別報告。
With this current development, we are actually talking about a cop who has very good results in his training, but he didn't get promoted. And at the end of the day, he developed, a lot of negative energy, and he became the core member of a crime syndicate. So actually, it's strange because if we were to make a film like that without the news, people would think, oh, bullshit, it's not realistic. But when we look at the newspaper, it's more dramatic than a film. So, but because people are so overwhelmed by the newspapers already, when we make it into a film, sometimes it may not be as exciting as reading the newspaper. So I think smart directors, they would use the elements, usually the characters, and make up another story. I think that is what's going to happen.
我係差人。
得意咯，我覺得，因為我哋有 email 來往過嘅，知唔知啊？咁嗰陣時就佢叫我哋俾啲 comment 佢個劇本啦，咁我哋睇咗啦，咁我第一行就寫點解你買咗我哋第一集個 right， 但係又加咗咁多第二、第三集嘅嘢落去，唔該俾埋嗰2集嘅錢我。不過其實電影咧就一步一步都唔同嘅，即係就算係同一個劇本，2個唔同導演去拍，嗰2部戲都一定係好唔同嘅。咁我覺得未來即係將來啦，啲人再睇翻呢2部戲咧，我覺得會喜歡無間道嘅人一定會多過 Departed 嘅人，同埋無間道係可以一路睇落去嘅咯，即係你可以睇好多次都冇乜事嘅。咁但係 Departed 可能你睇2次已經，你已經唔想再睇落去㗎啦。但係今次已經好唔同咯，即係好似以前西片都試過啦，好似 Insomnia 啦 ，Insomnia 有一個 remake 嚟㗎嘛。咁譬如好似 Vanilla Sky 啦，都係 remake 嚟噶嘛，咁都即係喺美國個成就都冇咁大咯。咁可能今次因為 Departed 喺美國個成就實在太大啦，即係其實都幾得意啊！你諗下咧 ，Scorsese 拍咗咁多年戲，都未得過咁大嘅成就，佢要 remake 一部戲先個成就咁大喎。咁其實呢件事都幾〜即係其實都幾，我哋睇就幾得意㗎，係啊，因為其實佢都唔係第一次 remake 啊嘛，佢都 remake 過，好似 Cape Fear 都係 remake。